Books are flying everywhere, books are flying everywhere. Hey guys! So today I'm here to talk to you about The Magician's Guild by... Really? I'm here to talk to you today about The Magician's Guild by Trudy Canavan. Now I adore this book. I decided for my first review on this channel... Hey, look, I'm making shadows. Shadows. Oh god, I'm such a child. So I decided for my first review on this channel I was going to talk about one of the first books I truly loved and truly enjoyed and truly got me into reading. And instead of using the basics, you know, like Harry Potter, I decided I would talk to you about this book. Now, I actually don't know if this book is classed as YA. I think it's maybe adult fiction, but it would be very good nice for a YA reader. If you like kind of the complexity and depth of Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, you'd like the intensity and depth of this book. So, in this world, there is a big city, Indomarin. So, in this big ass city, in the centre, there's the Magician's Guild. So, people from the higher castes, like the higher classes, will get tested at age 10 or 11 to see if they have potential magic ability. And if they do, they will get sent to the guild to become a magician and eventually become a healer, an alchemist, or a warrior. And outside there is the slums, and there are some of the lower class areas. And every year the magicians have to clear a load of people out of the lower areas into the slums. If I'm not making much sense here, I'm so sorry. There's a map in here, isn't there? Is this one of my copies with a map, or is it my hardback copies with a map? I have actually quite a lot of copies of this book. But every year, magicians will push people out into the slums. People in the slums are never tested for magical abilities because, peasants having magical abilities? As if. So, Sonia is running around the slums because of her family and all this and that. And there's no tradition of throwing rocks at the magical barrier the magicians make. It never has any impact, but because they do it, they feel a bit better about themselves to throw the rocks. It feels like they're fighting back from this. And so Sonia, in the very beginning, picks up a rock and throws it. But by some twist of fate, Sonia has slight magical abilities that are occurring naturally. And she breaks through the barrier and actually hits one of the dickish magicians right in the forehead, which is quite amusing. But it becomes clear quickly that she has abilities. And they try and stun her to stop her and go, wait, you have magical abilities. But what they accidentally do is they all hit the boy next to her with stun, and it turns him into a Krispy Kreme. He's literally a French fry that's been overcooked. Like a crispy, scorching body. This, of course, freaks Sonia out, so she runs. And this whole book is the adventure of her running, of the guild, of... It's an amazing story, and I can't talk enough love of this book. And this is one of those books that it's not on the favourite shelf, but it's always been there. I have about 6 copies of this book because I always pick up copies for my friends, and my hardback copies are my treasured babies, even though I don't know where they are right now. This book is so well written and I enjoyed it so much. The characters are fun and amusing, and Sonia feels like a real realistic character to me. And I don't know, I always feel like I empathised with her, or I just felt like I got along with her. And I actually read this book at a time where my world was crumbling around me when I first read it. And I don't know, I feel like I went on a journey with this character because she also had her world completely disintegrated around her. And it made me a bit stronger, I won't lie. This book helped me through a lot of times. And this book was one of the first books I actually bought for myself. Usually I got books from the library, but I remember one Christmas I went to my guardian and I said, I really want these books for Christmas. And she got me this trilogy and the books up here. And those were the first books I actually got for myself to add to a collection. Because all the other books I got beforehand were either from a charity store or second-hand from a family or friend member. So I love these books so much that I had to get them in a copy for myself. Because Sonia her powers occurred naturally, she's actually a lot stronger than most people. And she has to go through the guild eventually after all the epic adventures. She does have to actually train in the guild. And I think that's mainly the second book. Sometimes the books blur together for me because I see it as one series. But she has to deal with a lot of stress. Even once she's there and in the guild, she has to deal with modern racism. She has to deal with people looking down at her because she came from the slums. The characters, the storyline. I mean, this isn't a cute book. This is not a cute book. This is a fantasy book, a high fantasy book set in an alternate universe. And I know I probably should have picked something a bit more YA, but I want to just share with you this little bit of myself. I suggest you guys read this book if you haven't. And if you really love fantasy books, then this book is where it's at. There's no romance, really. I think there's the tiniest smidgen in this book, and I mean like the tiniest fleeting glance. But there's no romance in this book, and if you want romance in fantasy, I suggest you read Snow Like Ashes, The Young Elites, and The Kiss of Deception by Mary Ann Pearson. But if you want fantasy and adventure, this is it for you. Because I read this at a time where I didn't even know what romance was. Glenn was my first kiss, and I'm still with him today. So I read this long before I met him, and my first kiss was like a dream. I legit thought, guys, is this just me? Or at 14, I was chubby, ugly, and I legit thought that I was never even going to get to kiss a boy. I don't know why I thought that, but I was so convinced that I would never even get my first kiss. I was so convinced I would be a spinster who died alone. Even though now I've seen that's not going to be the case. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon for another video. Bye!